So here we are again, back with the WFA off-season roster look at thing breakdown that I'm doing now. This time we'll be going over the Charleston Federals by popular demand. We'll be bringing them in next. They also had a very interesting off-season with a lot of movers and shakers. Most of their stuff will be done in the draft, so I'll be going over a couple prospects I think will be good fits for them, or who I think they might be looking into. But I'll also go over who they've lost and who they're getting back. So here is the Charleston Federals' newest departures. So the key departures for Charleston are all going according to plan as far as I'm aware. This isn't a situation where they couldn't sign somebody back. They just let these guys walk for some reason. One of these was Joel Woods, the running back. They traded for him mid-season. They traded him for Cade Smith. And, that might not be right. Anyway, so they got rid of Joel Woods. They let him walk in free agency. So that's a gold running back that they're going to have to replace. James Woodson, a gold tight end, almost 1,000 yards, one of the best tight ends in the league. But they decided to let him go. I'm assuming that's a cap casualty. Shelby Woolsey Jr., he goes from gold to, I think he regresses to silver. He only had 3.5 sacks this season, but he was the highest rated defensive end on their roster, and he walks as well. Alex Perry had 10.5 sacks between his two teams this season. He walks. Dwayne Borrego, who was their inside linebacker this season, 53 tackles. He's going to be missing from the team. Samuel Davis, 45 tackles, playing behind Crash James, who was one of the best outside linebackers. And then Jackson Bell, who got traded to the Lancers, 56 tackles, 7 interceptions, progressed to gold, and he gets left off of the Charleston Federals plans for the season. So lots of good players that they have to replace, and let's look at who they've brought in to do so far. So not a lot happened for Charleston in free agency. They didn't really go after anybody. They have their sights focused on the draft and people that they can bring in. They have a lot of first round picks. We'll get into that in a second. But they did bring in a couple of guys in free agency. They brought in a lot of reserve players from different teams, but then they did bring in 2 guys that we assume are going to be starters. That's Boogie Turner, who is a silver defensive end. He's coming over from New Haven. He had 5 sacks this last season, but he has performed better in the past, and he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit. And then it did bring in Jeff Bainfield as well, who progressed from a bronze to a silver when he was on Kansas City. He had 641 yards and 6 touchdowns as a third receiver, and now he's going to be the third receiver again next to Randy Pierce and Travis Stafford. So I'll be very scared of this offense depending on who their running back ends up being, who their tight end ends up being. I would have loved to see Woodson stick around with this core, but that didn't happen for, I believe it's money reasons. But yeah, so let's take a look at who I think is going to fill the rest of the holes that the Federals still have coming up in the draft. So for those who don't know, the Charleston Federals really got gifted with how the team has been run in the past. They will have a grand total of 7 first-round picks, 7 out of 20 first-round picks this season. So they're going to be spending a lot to have a lot of starters coming through in this draft, so I'm going to run through just a few of the people that I think could be on their board. First of all, at running back, they're definitely going to be drafting somebody to start for them. I think their main target right now is Aspen Leathers. I assume he's one of the top guys on their board. His kicker, his brother David Leathers, is on the team, so that there's that connection. And he's one of the better backs in the Rise League so far. He has 283 yards. He's averaging 3.3 yards a carry. So he should be a good pickup if they're able to get him. A guy who's performing a little bit better is Trey Tucker. He's a big old power back, 320 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry and 2 touchdowns, which leads the Rise League. So those two guys will probably be on the board for the Federals. And then you have Matt Van Meter, huge tight end, just over 100 yards so far. Most of the tight ends have around the same stats, but I feel like getting Matt Van Meter in there has a big presence, just to be able to get that height in that offense would be good for them. Colleen Pierce is leading the Rise League in sacks right now with 4, coming off the Long Island Beavers. So that's a name to watch, especially with the Pierce connection. Could be an easy bring-in for them. Wilson Williamson, 22 tackles from the linebacker position for Boise. That could be a good pickup for them. They need some linebacker help as they're losing 2 starters, so bringing in Williamson would be a good pickup. And then at safety, Illinois Jones, big tackle machine, 20 tackles, also 4 interceptions, which is tied for the biggest in the league. So Illinois Jones, probably the top safety in the class right now. This could all change in the coming weeks, but these are the people that I feel like should be on the top of Charleston's board, and Leathers probably is. He's a guy that I'm sure they love and is in the plans for the future. So if you are looking to get Aspen Leathers, you better be able to jump the Federals. So that's it for Charleston's roster breakdown so far. To sum up, they have a lot of spaces left to go in their starting lineup, but they have the picks to make it look good. So I expect a lot of moving and shaking for this team, and it's going to make it into the juggernaut that it is meant to be. If you like the video, please let us know in the comments or on Discord. Let me know what other teams you would like to see support your favorite team in the comments and in our Discord server. Yeah, that's it for now. Check out the Rise League and stay on top of things. Leave a like if you can. It really helps the channel. I would really appreciate that. Until next time, see you later.